So today in the garage, back at it with the KX450X. Let me preface this real quick. Sorry it's been a couple weeks since I posted a video. I'm in college, my senior year of college, so it's just it's just starting up again, so it's been really busy. I've been donating plasma and some of my extra time, so that kind of takes away from video time, and then I've been riding a lot, so the bike's a little dirty, you can tell. Today we're going to be talking about these FCP engine mounts, so right here and right there. So we got the front and the top. I'll bring you closer to look at them in a second. But first we're going to talk a little bit about these bad boys. So these cost $450, $449 from FCP online or on their website. There's a PulpMX code. If you go over PulpMX, there's a code on his website, so you can go check that out. I think it brought it down to $411. So you get quite a bit off there. So that's nice if you aren't sponsored. I'm not sponsored by FCP. That's another thing I wanted to preface. Not sponsored by FCP. I just thought that the product would be really good, and so far I really like it. So with that being said, we'll jump into the rest of this. Some areas that I find that it really improves is bump touch. So I've heard some things about, it makes your corner amazing, it makes it corner, I really don't know if it makes it corner that much better. And again, I ride off-road, so most of my corners are off camber or rocky or have roots, or they're very flowy standing, so I'm not coming into corners sitting up here and cornering super tight. So that's one thing that I can't really preface that in my testing that I found out. What I feel like is the bump touch is just amazing. So basically, there's a section at Aslan where you kind of, and I'll put this in there, I got some riding footage with this on. You basically go over this hump and you jump into this, it's not a rock garden, I wouldn't call it that at all, but there is rocks that have come up out of the soil, and they're pretty big, substantial. And before I had these engine mounts, and on the beta, I'd come into it and I'd jump into it, and occasionally I'd just hit it and ping pong off the side and just kind of get squirrely, and it would kind of deter me from jumping into the section. I'd almost just roll that hump to go into those rocks, because I was getting so nervous about hitting that stuff. So that's one thing that these engine mounts have really helped out with, is that bump touch, landing into bumps, and especially hard bumps. Obviously with dirt you get a little bit of give, but with that with those rocks, it just feels amazing. I don't worry about coming into it and having that front end deflect off a rock and me get off trail. I don't feel that at all. Another thing that I think is a big plus with these engine mounts is comfort. So kind of going along with that, not having deflection, I feel like that there's a lot of comfort in these engine mounts based on just the chassis flexing a little bit differently than the stock. To my understanding is one of these, I couldn't tell you which one, so I'm sorry about that, but I think the bottom ones are stiffer than stock and the top ones are softer. Or I'm sorry, the front ones are stiffer and the top ones are softer. And basically what I think that is it's just allows it to flex differently in certain areas. So say they said cornering or the comfort, I honestly feel it most when going over logs. So basically, say if your front tire hits it, and then you get that highness, and then your rear tire might hit it and you get that like slap down. I don't really get an uncomfortable feeling like I did in the past. I thought that maybe my rear shock was too stiff, so I didn't change it at all. Internally, before I tested this, I went back to fully stock clickers. So there's no clicker, well, when I say fully stock, I mean on my suspension setting. So on my website there is this setting. You can go look at it right now. And my all my riding stuff is on there, so you can go check out this bike and it just say everything about what's done to it. So you go over there, check that out, and to get a further understanding. But basically, I just feel like there's a little bit more comfort in the bike. And with that being said, I'm more sensitive to the rear shock than I am my forks. I don't know if that's a normal thing or if that's just a me thing. Even on my Beta, which has KYB, still done by Factory Connection, this obviously has Showa. I was just more sensitive to my rear shock. I like my rear shock slower than someone might like it. Obviously, it's not incredibly slow. It's not so slow that it's just, you're basically just trying to, manage it. But it's a couple clicks slower than I would think that most people are at. One thing with these engine mounts is I feel like I got some comfort in the rear end with the shock, because I like my rear end slow. But with this bike and this chassis, I just couldn't figure it out to where it felt slow enough in the bumps, but then also in some areas I felt like I was getting kicked kind of weird, just because the rebound wouldn't come back out fast enough, But once I went back to stock clickers with my suspension setting, and then put these engine mounts on, it really helped my rear end and not be so, I just got, like I said, I just got more comfort in it. And then also not even it slowed it down, but just the comfort in the rear end makes it feel, and it's not slower, but it makes it feel slower, as in like it's not so sensitive. So that's one thing that I really like. I feel that a lot, and I feel that bump touch. So I'll bring you closer, and then we'll input some riding clips here, and so we'll do that right now. All right, so I took it off the stand here. We're bringing it a little closer. Obviously, that's the top engine mount in a nice like brownish color. Use the stock bolts, and it uses the KX450 has these optional engine mounts. So these two right there are for a different engine mount that Kawasaki makes. These are just actually happen to be a little bit cheaper for the whole setting. And then those ones right there, that one right there is the front one, and that seems to work really well as well. Everything fits up nice, and they look trick. So, all right, I'll show you the riding right now.
personally, I would hit that one section different. Right there, those back there, those logs. But they're kind of moving right now. We just made it and it's not even done. We have to do a whole other side. We have to do a whole other side. So the logs are kind of moving right now. So I'm gonna go back over and I want to hit that how I would like to. So we'll do that right now. I'm gonna use all this footage for my FCP. We'll show you that real quick. Right here, FCP engine mounts. I feel like they help out a lot, but we'll talk about that in the garage.
Alright, so thanks for watching this video on the FCP engine mounts on my 2025 KX450X. Like I said, I'm sorry that it's been a while since I posted, a couple weeks, but I've been real busy, so I want to get back on top of it and keep you guys going, watching videos. So like I said, I really like this product. I think it's really good. Is it worth $450? If you have the money to spend. If you buy your say you buy your motorcycle stock, just bone stock or brand new bone stock, and you're like, well, what should I do first? It's not the first thing I would recommend you do your motorcycle. I would say suspension. Like I would have you spend your $1,500 or whatever on suspension rather than the $450 on engine mounts. So I'd say save up and get suspension over these engine mounts. But if you have the extra money or this is your only hobby like me, these engine mounts are well worth it. So they're worth it if you're serious at racing or you just absolutely love the way they look or anything like that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching and we'll see you guys in the next one.